Hey, everybody. Welcome into Braylon's virtual tour live. Glad to have all of you here, y'all. We got so much to talk about. I feel like at this point, y'all know my voice, so good to hear it twice. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to have all of you here in the building. Of course, we got so much to talk about tonight. Money, sex, and late night television. Oh, my Lord Jesus. And yes, I do know about the Shirley news. We're going to talk about that as well a little bit. Welcome in and glad to have all of you here on Braylon Lee's virtual tour live right here on YouTube. I hope you had a wonderful day today. We just, hi. Hope you guys had a wonderful day today. I was watching some Intel earlier today. It's so much fun to see how the internet can work for you. It really is. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed that video of me talking about rebuilding Black Wall Street from the one, the only Mr. Morris Chestnut. That will be debuting September 27th at 9/8 Central, only on OWN. And I told y'all before, I think they're using the OWN spotlights to be able to see if they want, to see if they want to produce more content like that. So I covered it because I felt like it was important, but also too, other people may not cover it. So why not be the first? Amen. So let's get to doing what we do here on Braylon's virtual tour live, y'all. 3 people in the building. Thank you so much. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as I get the stories up. So, y'all, I don't know if you knew or not, but if you have Cash App, it was a little bit wobbly today, just a little bit. And I had no idea about this because I have Cash App as well. Of course, y'all can donate to the Cash App if you want to. Also, super chats, super stickers, super thanks. Also welcomed as well. It's not required, but I appreciate any support. So here we go with the first story with Cash App. I don't know if people have been talking about it today on YouTube, but I thought that this was quite interesting. There's been a lot of data outages. So here we go. Widespread outage leaving Cash App users without access to their money. Cash App customers are frustrated after a widespread outage caused users not to have access to their money. The company acknowledges the problems that started Thursday afternoon and have been posting updates on their website. Users of the mobile payment app reached out wanting to know why they were unable to log on or even get their money. Cash App asked for patience while they're investigating and is telling users not to make any peer-to-peer payments, cash card purchases, or log out of their accounts. Besides Cash App, the popular point of sale app many businesses use, Square, is also experiencing outage problems. Oh, wow, I didn't know about Square. The company said, we are currently experiencing issues with multiple Square services. We understand how important it is for your business that our services be up and running, and we're actively working toward a fix. So I saw a YouTube stream earlier today that they said that the outages must be fixed now. But yeah, so earlier today, if you had Square, and Square is a business to business, platform where you can take card payments or Apple Pay, Google Pay payments, it was a widespread outage today where no one could access their money. So definitely wanted y'all to know about that because I know some of y'all do use Cash App, you know what I mean? But this has also happened with Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. It's bound to happen with that many users. You know what I mean? So you are probably wondering about the Nissan, the Nissan and Kia logos and what are they doing in my thumbnail? Well, everybody, I saw this story today. I'm like, what the hell? What the actual hell is going on? So, and this story comes to us from the New York Post as it comes up here. Y'all, the world is crazy. It really is. So, here we go. So it says here, Nissan and Kia can collect data on drivers' sexual activity and sex lives. Privacy watchdog. Your car may be keeping tabs on your sex drive. Car makers Nissan and Kia can collect data on their drivers' sexual activity and sex lives and may sell the info to third-party advertisers, according to a shocking study by a intercept privacy watchdog. The creepy collection of personal information by the two auto companies earned them failing grades from the Mozilla Foundation, the maker of the Firefox web browser, which ran privacy check on 25 car brands. Nissan does not knowingly collect or disclose consumer information on sexual activity or sexual orientation, a company spokesperson told Post. Some states require us to account for ad relevant data collection or information that can be inferred from other data, such as geolocation. For employees, some voluntarily disclose information such as sexual orientation, but it's not required. We do not disclose without consent, the spokesperson for Nissan added. The foundation said most car companies can comb through a variety of sources to glean personal information about drivers after they pair their smartphones with a vehicle's connected services. Oh my Lord, really? So if you pair your phone, they can really know your sexual history? Ooh, okay then. This invasive harvesting of information is collected via a web of sensors, microphones, cameras, and the phones, apps, and connected services you use inside your vehicle, according to the Mozilla Foundation. Car firms then can take that data to sell it or share it with vendors, insurance companies, or others, according to the watchdog. Now, wait a minute. So when they say they can share the vendors, what, they're going to share it to the people that make the seats so that way it can be more comfortable to get it in? They're going to sell it to your insurance company and say, hey, listen, now we ain't telling you they ain't bumping and grinding and honking and pushing pedal to the metal, but you might want to bump up their insurance. Like, where they do that at? There's a lot of ambiguity on how car companies, let's see here. Sorry, this is just crazy to me. I saw this. I'm like, what the actual, what? 5 people in the building. Thank you so much. 4 people in the building. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much. Let's see here. There's a lot of ambiguity around how car companies collect these data points, and that's the problem. Kevin Zoaki, a spokesperson for the Mozilla Foundation, told the Post, is nearly impossible for consumers to really know how all their data is collected. Zawaski said that the Mozilla Foundation reached out to Nissan for specifics on how it collects data. Nissan did not respond, according to Zawaski. Wow. Okay, so here's what Nissan said about its privacy policy. The Japanese-based company says that it collects drivers' sensitive personal information, including driver's license number, national or state identification number, citizenship status, immigration status, race, national origin, religion or philosophical beliefs, sexual orientation, sexual activity, precise geolocation, health diagnosis data, and genetic information. The company says that sources for collection include direct contact with users and Nissan employees. Zawaski told the Post that data collection via direct contact with users and Nissan employees just raises more questions than answers. Ooh, so with Kia, right? So with Kia, it also acknowledged on its website that it collects personal information. Hang on, y'all. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. I'm gonna call her straight back. Okay. My bad, y'all. My bad. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. It says Kia also acknowledged on its website that it collects sensitive personal information such as racial or ethnic origin, religious or philosophical beliefs, sex life, or sexual orientation information and genetic data. While we may collect certain types of personal information, including sensitive personal information as identified by the California Consumer Privacy Act of 2018, the CCPA, not all types of sensitive personal information are collected by us as stated in our privacy policy. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, what do y'all think about that? I mean, really, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, listen, I get that, I get race because, there are different races, like African Americans like sedans, white people like crossovers and SUVs, right? So I get age, race, you know, beliefs so they can do marketing. But your sexual life, your sex life, or your sexual orientation, like, really though? Really? Okay, just Lord help me. I really don't know how to feel about that. That's just it's a little much for me. Just a little much. Just a little much for me. Um, but I also want you guys to know that. So if you have a Nissan or a Kia, be careful of what you connect to your car, and be careful of how much you share. Okay, because apparently people are listening. They are listening. Okay. So y'all saw Jimmy Fallon on the thumbnail, and Jimmy Fallon has been a legend. Is a legend in late night television, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, he doesn't do the really deep interviews, but the Tonight Show's supposed to be a fun place. You know what I mean? So it says chaos, comedy, and crying rooms inside Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. It was a particularly tense day and I'm reading this from RollingStone.com if you guys want to follow along. It was a particularly tense day on the set of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy. For his warm and congenial presence on screen, was acting especially dismissive and irritable during production meetings, a former longtime employee tells Rolling Stone. Then he stumbled through rehearsal in front of a studio audience who typically sits in on rehearsals for the late night show. So for those of you who don't know, there is the main show, and then there's a sit in on rehearsal where you get to see the behind the scenes of the show and everything. It's really, really cool. Employees who spoke to Rolling Stone about their experiences working on the Tonight Show says it's common knowledge behind the scenes that there are good Jimmy days, where Jimmy Fallon's wit and charm and creativity are on full displays, and bad Jimmy days. This was a bad Jimmy day, according to the employee. They say Fallon seemed to be confused during rehearsal that day in 2017 when he crossed out jokes on the piece of paper he was holding, riffed with the audience a bit, and then quizzically looked back down at the same sheet of paper. He could remember that he had just crossed it out himself. The employee says, I was like, oh my God, he seems drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing. This could be awful. This could be the end of the show right here. Another staffer says that they too witnessed the incident from a live studio feed inside their office. So for those of you who don't know, if you are in late night TV or daytime TV, there is a closed circuit feed of the show. So if you are a supervising producer or you're a PA, you can see what's happening on the show. And if they cut to commercial break and they need something, hey, Braylon, can you go get coffee? So yes, there are live feeds, but that's very typical because they need something they're recording the show live in real time, and then they distribute it later on. That's when we get it. Okay. So according to 2 current and 14 former employees, 5 people in the building. Thank you so much. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We're talking about the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, this expose from Rolling Stone. According to 2 current and 14 former employees, the Tonight Show has been a toxic workplace for years, far outside the boundaries of what is considered normal in the high pressure world of late night TV. They say the ugly environment behind the scenes starts at the top with Fallon's erratic behavior has trickled down to its ever-changing leadership teams. 9 showrunners in the past 9 years who seemingly don't know how to say no to Jimmy. Former employees describe the Tonight Show as a tense and pretty glum atmosphere, with some alleging that they were belittled and intimidated by their bosses, including Fallon himself. Employees describe The employees described being afraid of Fallon's outbursts and unexpected inconsistent behavior. Many of these staffers voiced their concerns through HR complaints, but problems at the Tonight Show persisted. Whew. All right. So from what I'm seeing here is that, the boss had his days, and that, the erratic behavior along with leadership culminated into this mea culpa of where they are now. That's what I'm reading. That's what I am getting so far from this Rolling Stone article here. Let's see. Sorry, I'll try to get my laptop to work. I probably will get a laptop here soon. Let's see here. Seven former employees said their mental health was impacted by their alleged experiences working at the Tonight Show. These staffers say it was commonplace to hear people joking about wanting to unalive themselves, and that they were referred to guest dressing rooms in the office as crying rooms, because that's where they would go when they would go to let out their emotions when they were upset about their alleged mistreatment. Wait a minute, let me read that again. These staffers say it was commonplace to hear people joking about wanting to unalive themselves, and that they were referred to the guest dressing rooms as crying rooms, because that's where they would go to let out their emotions when they were upset about their alleged mistreatment. Oh my God, wow. The former staffers who spoke to Rolling Stone requested anonymity out of fear of retaliation. They worked in a range of positions on the show, from the production crew members to office staffers and in the writer's room. Hey, Nikki News, welcome in. Glad to have you here, Queen. We're just talking about Jimmy Fallon and this expose from Rolling Stone. I just read about how the staff allegedly, this was commonplace, that they want to unalive themselves, and they referred to guest dressing rooms in the office as crying rooms, because that's where they would go to let out their emotions when they were upset with the alleged treatment. So many of the staffers who spoke to Rolling Stone requested anonymity out of fear of retaliation. They worked on a range of positions, from production crew members to office staffers in the writers' room. Many of the former staffers say they left the show because of their mental health, and some of them were fired from the Tonight Show. It's a bummer because it was my dream job, one former employee says. Writing for late night is a lot of people's dream jobs, and they're coming into this, it becomes a nightmare very quickly. It's sad it's like that, especially knowing it doesn't have to be that way. If y'all remember the Kelly Clarkson story, there was some news about that where somebody literally threw up. And also Alex Dua allegedly said, "Why aren't black people coming to the Kelly Clarkson show?" That article was also from Rolling Stone as well. Rolling Stone contacted more than 50 Tonight Show employees, past and present, during the reporting for this story. After reaching out to representatives for Fallon and NBC, Rolling Stone reached out to additional 30 current and former staffers. While many of them praised Fallon's immense talent and comedic gifts, not a single one agreed to Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. My phone went out, but I am here. Thank you all for staying here with me. Greatly appreciate that. You guys are my virtual travelers, my virtual tour family. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. We are live on tour, y'all. As you can see, live TV. Anything can happen at this point. We're talking about the Tonight Show and Jimmy Fallon. Um, as we have learned so far, there is a culture of allegedly saying that they will unalive themselves and go into the green rooms because that is what they call the crime rooms because they wouldn't be able to showcase that. Rolling Stone contacted more than 50 Tonight Show employees, past and present, during this story. Then after reaching out to representatives in NBC, Rolling Stone reached out to additional 30 current and former staffers, and while many of them praised Fallon's immense talent, comedic gifts, not a single one agreed to speak on the record or have positive things to say about work at the Tonight Show. Nor would any of the program's 9 showrunners since 2014, when the show came about, comment on the program's namesake on the record. They wouldn't even give statements of support, as is common in the entertainment industry. 7 people in the building. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Representatives for Fallon would not comment on the record for the story. After this report published, however, Fallon apologized to staffers in an all-hands Zoom call. It's embarrassing, and I feel so bad, Fallon said, according to 2 people who were on the call. I'm sorry if I embarrassed you, your family, and your friends. I feel so bad I can't even tell you. In a statement, a spokesperson for NBC defended the program, but notably did not mention Fallon himself. We are incredibly proud of the Tonight Show, and providing a respectful working environment is top priority, a spokesperson said. As in any workplace, we have had employees raise issues, and those have been investigated. Action has been taken where appropriate. As is always the case, we encourage our employees who feel that they've experienced or observed behavior inconsistent with our policies to report their concerns, so that way we may address them accordingly. Well, I mean, with NBC Bravo having this lawsuit, right? And now the Tonight Show, something's going on at NBC, and let's not forget the Matt Lauer situation, right? So it just seems that's just one thing after another here at NBC. After winning over viewers on Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Fallon, cemented his reputation as one of television's most beloved entertainers when he started hosting NBC's Late Night with Jimmy Fallon in 2009. Jimmy's goofy, affable, musically gifted, and middle-of-the-road approach to audiences and comedy made him easily likable and appealing to the masses. For those watching at home, Fallon didn't seem to take himself too seriously. His charisma and talent brought people joy. And his talent on screen, brought people joy, made them laugh. It led to abundance of excitement when he would take over as host of The Tonight Show from Jay Leno in 2014. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon debuted to a staggering 11,300,000 followers, 300,000 viewers. Now I'm gonna tell you why they say that's staggering, because and that was the premiere, y'all. For that to be the premiere of The Tonight Show, most shows do not pull in ratings like that anymore. Most shows do not. For the duration of its premiere season, the show competed against other late night shows, averaging 3 to 4 million episodic viewers. The show had no shortage of successes and viral moments. Slow jam the news, which I loved it. And that's how we do, and that is how we slow jam the news. Oh, yeah. Which I honestly wish he would bring that back. I don't know the last time he did it. And that's a popular segment in which political and media figures like President Obama and Brian Williams join Jimmy Fallon in breaking down current events, while the Roots improvise slow jam, R&B music, and ad-libs. Then there's the Wheel of Musical Impressions, where Fallon provides singers with prompts and asks them to do their best imitation of other musical artists. Ariana Grande impersonating Celine Dion, singing The Weeknd's I Can't Feel My Face. The video of Grande and Fallon's impressions have been seen or viewed 169 million times on YouTube, which is just wow. Jamie Foxx went on The Tonight Show, and he did a song. He did John Legend, Toys R Us, and he was like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the greatest toy store it is. I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. Toys, toys, all of you. It's all of me. Get a big wheel and some toys. Y'all, if y'all have not seen that clip, go to Jimmy Fallon's YouTube channel after this live and watch it. I promise you, you'll get your life. You really will. But behind the scenes, there was a surprising, dramatic, and ugly shift in the working environment. According to three employees who originally worked for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, then followed the team to the Tonight Show. Of course, there was added pressure when the program transitioned. The Tonight Show is one of television's most storied franchises. These employees also say they felt a change because Michael Shoemaker, who was at the helm of Late Night during Fallon's run, didn't move over to the Tonight Show and stuck around to produce Late Night with Seth Meyers. The producers felt this pressure, and that translated down to all their employees. People that worked under them then felt this pressure that if you made one mistake, you were gone, would be easily replaced. One former employee says, "You have all these NBC pages in the building who are ready, willing, and waiting to take your job." Of course, every major television show has its share of pressure and chaos and turnover. Daily programs even more so. But what happened at the Tonight Show was highly unusual in late night television, employees say. The program had 6 different groups of leadership teams in its 9 years on TV. In 2014, Josh Lieb started off as showrunner. Mike DiCenzo, Katie Hockenmeyer, and Jared Bradford took over as a trio in 2016. Then Jim Bell had a short stint from 2018 to 2019, followed by Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and Tonight Show veteran Gavin Purcell from 2019 to 2020. Hello, 5 people. Welcome in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We're just talking about Jimmy Fallon, this expose that Rolling Stone put out. Jamie Grant Berdine, Nita Suisse replaced Purcell in 2020 as co-showrunners until Chris Miller landed the job in March of 2022. I don't think they've landed on a leader who can keep it together, one former staffer says, and that created a chaotic atmosphere among staffers, many of who have lost faith in leadership. No one told Jimmy no. Everyone walked on eggshells, especially showrunners. Another former employee says, "You never know which Jimmy we were going to get and when he was going to throw a hissy fit. Look at how many showrunners went so quickly. We know they did not last long." With an ever-changing cast at the top, employees said they had nightmares related to work and were in constant state of fear. One former employee says that they had their first anxiety attack, oh my lord, while working at the show and were put on anti-anxiety medication for the first time. Another employee says they felt physical ramification of their declining mental health, like their hair thinning and weakened nail beds. Oh my lord. So like the nail beds that are here, they said that they were weakening and their hair was legitimately thinning. Oh my lord. 4 other employees said that they are in therapy because of their experiences. 3 people said they experienced idle ideation as a result of the working environment. I can't say the word, so idle. You idle. Follow me there. Mentally, I was in the lowest place of my life. I didn't want to live anymore. I thought about taking my own life all the time. One former employee says, "I knew deep down I would never actually do it, but in my head, I'm like, why do I think about this all the time?" One employee says that they lost nearly 20 pounds during their time working under showrunner Grant Berman. Felt like they were on edge all the time and cried themselves to sleep every night. I know other people who were in my department who were also unhappy with the mistreatment, but it was never a thing where any of us were empowered to say anything. This employee says, "It just always felt like you should be grateful to have a job. You should be grateful that you have this position at this show, at this network. Everyone wants to be in the spot. You have worked hard to get here. It shouldn't be a thing where you are ungrateful. That is a common thing that I've been seeing. I saw that, at the Kelly Clarkson show with their expose from Rolling Stone. I saw that with Ellen and how many people say you should be grateful to be here. It's Ellen. That's been a consistent pattern here with the world of television. This is a fascinating article. According to most employees who spoke to Rolling Stone, it's common knowledge that behind the scenes that Fallon's temperament, mood, and treatment of staffers is erratic. These employees said they witnessed Fallon snap at crew members, express irritation over the smallest things, and berate and belittle staffers out of frustration. 3 former employees said that he berated them in front of other colleagues and crew members. It was like if Jimmy was in a bad mood, everybody's days were, upped or fucked. One former employee says people would joke around in the office. They wouldn't stand around and talk to each other. It was very much like focus on whatever it is that you have to do, because Jimmy's in a bad mood. If he sees that, he might fly off. That's interesting, because with late night TV, there is a camaraderie. Sorry, I'll get myself adjusted. There is a camaraderie of family, right? So being able to joke around and talk and play and experiment and use your imagination, that should be the mood at the workplace. We're up against it was a commonly used phrase around the office among employees. They say to warn each other if Fallon was not having a good day, therefore everyone else was in a rough one as well. Over the years, there have been rumors and gossip items about Fallon's relationship with alcohol. In 2016, the New York Post ran a story alleging that NBC executives were concerned about Fallon's drinking, denied in a New York Times profile published in 2017, saying, "I can never do a day-to-day job if I was drinking every night. That's just kicking you when you're down." But 2 employees say that they saw Fallon seemingly inebriated at work in 2017. Another 2 employees say on separate occasions in 2019 and 2020, they thought they smelled alcohol in Fallon's breath when he entered the elevator with him during the workday. According to 8 former employees, Fallon's behavior seemed to be dependent on if he appeared to be hung over from the night before. Y'all give me a moment. This is just... Sorry, I gotta give me a little something to drink. This is just really fascinating. This whole article. Okay, let's get back in the bed here. Let's get back in the bed. Take out that. Okay, there we go. Okay. So it says here, when something was wrong, we all knew how to behave afterward, which was just sort of avoid eye contact and don't make another mistake. One former staffer. It would happen over the smallest thing. We would have to shut the whole thing down. The sketch isn't happening when things like that would happen. You would just beat yourself up. The erratic nature of the talk show host's behavior led to widespread fear around those who interacted with him. Employees said sometimes we would get a nice Jimmy, but that sometimes was not a lot. One former employee says, "It was really, really sad to me that this really talented man created such a horrible environment for the people there." One person says, depending on Fallon's mood, they felt like his notes and feedback could be passive-aggressive, personal insults, as opposed to constructive criticism. They would say he would write comments like, "Are you okay? Seriously, do you need help?" Rolling Stone reviewed the photos of the employees' alleged notes from Fallon that read, "Ugh, lame. What is going on with you? You've outdone yourself." Same employee says Fallon would also send combative emails, one of which was reviewed by Rolling Stone to certain staffers if he was dissatisfied with their work. 2 employees remember witnessing Fallon scold the crew member who was in charge of his cue cards in the middle of a taping with comedian Jerry Seinfeld. They say it was an uncomfortable moment. Seinfeld told Fallon to apologize to the cue card production member, which he then allegedly did. Oh, wow. So even Jerry Seinfeld saw it and said, "Hey, you need to apologize." Oh, wow. The employee said that this incident, which felt awkward to watch, did not make it into the version of the show that appeared on television. So, for those of you who don't know, late night TV is usually live to tape. So they basically tape it and they tape it live. So that means that's one continuous take with breaks in between, right? And that's it. Whatever happened, happened. So that's when they mean live to tape. It was very awkward, and Jerry Seinfeld was like, "You should apologize to him," almost trying to make it a joke. A former employee says it was one of the strangest moments ever. So many people were there, so it was kind of hard to forget. Representatives for Seinfeld, rather, sorry all about that, did not respond to multiple requests for comment following the publication of the story. However, Seinfeld sent a statement to Rolling Stone. "This is so stupid. I remember this moment quite well. I teased Jimmy about a flub, and we all had a fun laugh about how rarely Jimmy is thrown off. It was not uncomfortable at all. Jimmy and I still occasionally recall and laugh. I idiotic twisting of events." Okay. So from what I am seeing, this seems like a culture where people are not heard. People have to walk around on eggshells, and people mental health really was on the fritz. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing from this article, or gathering from this article. In the summer of 2020, a video of Fallon in blackface during a Saturday Night Live skit resurfaced online. This came at a heightened time of racial and social awareness because of the George Floyd murder and subsequent Black Lives Matter protests around the country. The talk show host tweeted an apology for the video, saying in 2000, while on Saturday Night Live, I made a terrible decision to do an impersonation of Chris Rock while in blackface. There's no excuse for this. I am very sorry for making this unquestionably offensive decision. I thank all of you for holding me accountable. He also spoke to the New York Times about the incident. While Fallon publicly addressed the video, employees said that there was an internal uproar because staff members weren't happy. The talk show host didn't directly acknowledge the incident with them. It was the first time I had seen the video, even though I was told, "Oh, this resurfaced again," one former employee says. So I'm sure many other people on staff, especially younger folks, it was probably their first time seeing it too. The same former employee says when the clip started going viral online, senior leadership initially wanted to sweep it under the rug. I asked, are we going to use this as an educational moment? Are we going to be a pillar of change and be the role model as an example for the future? Purcell, the showrunner at the time, did implement regular internal diversity and cultural meetings afterward. And to this day, the Tonight Show has a diversity inclusion council. Some employees say that they were hopeful that he wanted to make lasting changes to the show, but they were let down a few months later when Grant Bedden took over. She began bullying and mistreating the staff, 5 employees say. One black employee. Why in every article from Hollywood, when an expose is done, a black person is involved somehow? Okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Here we go. One black employee says Grant Bedden kept asking them, "What is going on with your hair? What is going on with your hair?" The employee says they also witnessed Grant Bedden make comments about how much food people would eat, saying to staffers, "We're just eating a lot today, not caring about what we look like." 2 employees say they were also misled by Swiss who bullied, intimidated, and yelled at them. "What's going on with your hair?" was asked of one black employee. Now, for black women, there are different textures to hair. And for men, there are different textures to their hair too. So even though it may look unkempt to someone's eye, that is their natural hair. So I think that was just trying to shade about you don't keep your hair together. And also too, not caring what we look like, and we're eating a lot today. Whew, okay. Grant Bedden Swiss did not respond to multiple requests for comment. I bet you they didn't, because guess what? If it was not true that you said that, you will be able to say Rolling Stone that is not true. But since you could not respond for comment, it must be true. Commonsensically. Swiss left the Tonight Show in 2021 when she signed an overall deal with Universal Television. I didn't know that happened, because usually when an overall deal happens, it's usually news on Deadline, Rolling Stone, Variety, The Wrap. These are some of the big, the Hollywood Report. These are some of the big, major Hollywood publications. And Grant Bedden left the show in March 2022 when Miller took over the program. They are the worst bosses I ever had in my life. They use that position of power to bully and treat the staff that way. The network is unaware of how they treat people, one former employee staff. They not only continue to enable it, but reward it. 5 employees said they spoke to HR about their experiences behind the scenes of Tonight Show, their exit interviews when they voluntarily left the show as well during their time of employment. One longtime employee says they never reported their issues to HR because early on in their tenure, they saw colleagues of theirs attempt to speak to human resource representatives and subsequently got fired from the show. It said get fired from the show, but they don't protect us. The former staffer says they don't do anything for us. Another former staffer says that they reached out to HR to express concerns they had about working under Grant Bedden after requesting a formal meeting with HR over email. They say Grant Bedden put them on a performance improvement plan, a step before disciplinary action, including termination. They say they were surprised to learn that Grant Bedden wasn't happy with their performance up to that point. The employee says that they heard from HR afterward. In a subsequent meeting with HR human resource reps for NBC, they shared their issues and concerns. 4 people in the building. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We're just talking about Jimmy Fallon here, this expose from Rolling Stone. After a subsequent meeting with human resource reps for NBC, they shared their issues and concerns, including they were experiencing isolation. They say they saw an email exchange between HR and Grant Bedden, which was reviewed by Rolling Stone, in which the HR denigrated the employee to Grant Bedden. Oh my Lord, 6 people in the building. Thank you all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're just talking about Jimmy Fallon here, this expose from NBC. Glad to have all you here on Braylon's virtual tour live right here on YouTube. That was super frustrating to me and kind of devastating, because it felt as if I had finally someone on my side. I quickly learned that was not the case. They say everything that I relate to HR was then relayed to my manager, so it was not a safe space. It felt as if that they were acting in the interest of one person instead of the interest of the greater whole. The employee found another job when they had their exit interview. They say they didn't feel comfortable about being honest about their experience. Grant Bedden showed up to the final meeting with HR, which usually doesn't happen in an employee exit interview with human resources. It felt as if it was an intimidation tactic, they said. I did not feel as if I could voice my experience about my time on the show, because everything would just get back to Jamie Grant Bedden. For a third employee, it was upsetting and confusing to get fired without receiving any reason, especially since they were a longtime employee who had come to the Tonight Show after spending years working for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. The employee says they were never given any warnings or negative feedback about their work and were blindsided by the firing. I ended up talking to the HR person on the phone, later on the phone rather. She was like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. She was like, I don't know why you're being let go. You didn't do anything wrong. I've never seen anybody get fired for no reason, the former staffer says. Wow. Ooh, the Tonight Show went dark in early May when the writers' strike began. The show, which employs members of the Writers Guild of America, would have otherwise gone on summer hiatus later that month, but after NBC and Fallon himself reported paid staffers salaries for 3 weeks in the midst of the strike. The employees were then put on an unpaid leave of absence. Last week, Fallon and other late night hosts Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver launched a collaborative limited podcast series called Strike Force 5 while the writer's strike continues. Proceeds from the podcast will go toward the host staff members while they are out of work due to the strike. While Hollywood studios have recently met with the Writers Guild of America negotiating committee, open up talks again, it's unclear how much longer the strike will continue. This leaves the Tonight Show and other late night programs in limbo while they wait for both sides to reach a deal. Wow. In 2021, 5 people in the building. Thank you so much. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're just talking about Jimmy Fallon here in this expose from Rolling Stone. In 2021, The Tonight Show, which is produced by Universal Television Broadway Video, which is from Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels, I think, was an executive producer, if I'm not mistaken, on The Tonight Show. He may be retiring by season 50 of Saturday Night Live. And Fallon's production company, Electric Hot Dog, was renewed by NBC until 2026. Even though there has been a shift in leadership in the past year, with Miller taking over in 2022, staffers say that the show's track record of revolving door showrunners, as well as Fallon's alleged behavior, leave them pessimistic about what the future of the Tonight Show will look like. Employees say that they want long-term changes to the work environment at the Tonight Show. They also say they want Fallon and NBC, who are well aware of Tonight Show's past issues, to be held accountable and take employees' concerns seriously to change the environment for the better. I think this is the end of the article, I think. Yeah, this is the end of the article. This is the last thing that is be kicked out of StreamYard. The camera went off again. So give me a moment. I will be back. Just give me a moment. Oh, okay. I'm back. Awesome sauce. So I'm here. Okay. This is the last thing in the article. I love The Tonight Show and I love comedy. I gave my heart and soul to that place. I want to see them succeed and do well. But for that to happen, there are major changes that needed to take place. Starting with Jimmy, a former employee, says they all need to dig their heads out of the sand and do something about the various obvious problems that we all know are happening. So, there was an update at 12:33 p.m. The story has been updated to include Jerry Seinfeld's comments. An update at 6:19. The story has been updated to include Fallon's apology. So, what do I think about the article? Well, I think everything that was said in that article is true. I felt every employee. I felt that the Tonight Show, from what I read of that article, is not the fun, jovial, happy place that we see. I did not see anything about the Roots in the article, which is interesting because they're on stage with him basically every night. Well, they tape Friday show on Thursday because, Fridays they just want the Roots, their actual band, right? And then Steve Higgins, I didn't see nothing about Steve Higgins in that. So that was interesting. I think that, this reckoning of media, which is happening to NBC, Universal with Bravo, happened with the Today Show and Matt Lauer and now Jimmy Fallon. I think that there's been a lot of underbellies happening in a lot of different industries that are finally coming out. And I think it's about time, because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, how the snake moves is from the head down. Every other little bone in the snake's body is not going to move without the head moving, right? So it all connects together. I am praying for the staff. I feel for the staff, and I hope NBC does the right thing. I really do, because to be in an environment like that, where it's supposed to be late night television, which is supposed to be fun and bright and exciting, for it to be dark, gloomy, and dreadful, that's a move that I cannot contribute to. That's a move that I can definitely not contribute to. So, let me see if I can pull up Jimmy Fallon's apology on YouTube to see. I don't, and they said that he apologized in the all hands Zoom call. But I think he went on the Tonight Show to apologize. I think he did. By the way, y'all, the opportunities that are out here are ridiculous. Just gonna say that because I called somebody today and I said, hey, look, I want to be able to host this opportunity, and they said, well, they're looking for somebody else, and I said, hey, I'll host the Red Carpet Countdown show. They said, send me over your information. Opportunities are out here, you just gotta go after them. That was a read. That was an article, y'all. That really was an article. It really, really was a very, very neat article. TON Tonight Show. Let's see here. I wonder if the Today Show talked about it too. They kind of had to, right? I mean, I will at least assume so. Like the Today Show is a news show, right? So I would assume that they would cover it, right? At least they had to cover it. Sorry, y'all give me a moment. That's not what I wanted at all. Oh, and Tonight Show. All right. Hello, 5 people. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. We're just chilling out. Glad to have you here. Higher is Wayne, low is available. But either way, we're live on tour. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Feel free to type in the chat, of course, if you have anything that you want to talk about. We're just talking about Cash App and how there was a huge outage that nobody could access their money, including the people with businesses that use the Square app. Of course, Kia and Nissan allegedly checks your sexual information, orientation. And then, Jimmy Fallon, there is a culture at the Tonight Show with what is going on there. Hey, Phyllis, welcome in, Queen. Good to see you. How are you feeling? I hope all is well with you. I'm trying to see. So it looks like he did not really get on camera and say anything to his staff. Oh, praise God. Praise God for that, Phyllis. That is awesome news to hear. Praise God. Glad that you got released. Very, very happy for that. Amen. So I'm not seeing Jimmy Fallon really apologize on the Tonight Show, but I'm going to play this clip from Entertainment Tonight. Let me see. Okay. So I'm going to click this here. And you know what? There's a Rolling Stone reporter that reported on this, and they left their email. So what I think I may do is send them this show, so that way they can see that people are talking about it on YouTube. Because as y'all know, I cover the media streets very well. In my opinion, the government's trying to get real currency by having people have a chip in their body. You know what? Anything is possible. I'm not going to rule that out. I'm not going to rule that out. There's not going to be any chip in me. Unless I mean chocolate chip thighs, I have no chips in me. I need to stop. I need to stop. Anyway, let me, Lord help me. Let me get this video up. Let me see if I can pull this back. Listen, I like what I like, damn it. Okay, I like what I like what I like. Shoot. Or we can do caramel chip thighs as well. I'm long as it tastes sweet to me. I need to stop. I need to shut up. I say too much sometimes in my own lives. Anyway, hopefully y'all day went well. Just chilling out here on YouTube Live. Glad to have all you here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just got done reading a fascinating report from Rolling Stone. It's interesting. These television exposés, well, the two biggest ones, Kelly Clarkson and Jimmy Fallon, both came from Rolling Stone. They did not come from Variety. I think the Ellen article did come from Variety. So quite interesting how Rolling Stone is getting into this. But Rolling Stone evolved from a music magazine to more of a cultural magazine. So, okay, get this up. Of course, Kia and Nissan allegedly checks your sexual information and orientation. Yep, that's me, y'all. Jimmy Fallon, there is a culture at the Tonight Show. With what is going on there. Hey, Phyllis, welcome in, Queen. Good to see you. How are you feeling? I hope all is well. The playback sounds great. Trying to see. That's how you take in live TV, y'all. You just roll with the punches. You just roll with the punches. Hang on, y'all. So see, I got my laptop up to be able to chat with y'all live, and then I'm doing StreamYard on my phone. So it's live TV, y'all. It's live TV. I know it's YouTube, but I consider this live TV because you can watch me on your TV, you can watch me on your laptop, you can watch me on your PC, you can watch me on your tablet, you can watch me on your phone. So you can even watch me on Roku. Believe it or not, if you download the YouTube TV app, you can watch me on Roku. Yes, you can. Yes, you can indeed. Listen. Oh my goodness. By the way, do y'all like my new glasses? I got like 34 likes or 54 likes on my community wall. Thank y'all so much for that. That was very sweet of y'all. I was quite humbled. Okay, let me see. Okay. All right, y'all ready? Make sure I got the Jimmy Fallon clip. Okay, here we go.
ET's learned Jimmy Fallon apologized to his Tonight Show staff in the wake of toxic workplace allegations in a Rolling Stone report.
It's a great show. It's super fun. It's loose.
On a Zoom call Thursday, the comedian told staffers,
"Thank you very much.
I embarrassed you and your family and friends. I feel so bad, I can't even tell you."
I'm very lucky I have the Tonight Show.
About the mag's claims, erratic behavior from Jimmy, and going through 9 showrunners in just the last 9 years. Jimmy added in the call, "I want this show to be fun. It should be inclusive for everybody." As for his staff, currently on hiatus amid the writer's strike, they told him, "We love you, Jimmy. We got you." Meanwhile, NBC released this statement, quote, "Providing a respectful working environment is a top priority."
they were kind of walking around on eggshells.
Christy Lee Andoli is the reporter at Rolling Stone who broke the story. She was also behind similar articles about Ellen DeGeneres and Kelly Clarkson.
In your estimation, in your opinion, what did you take away from your reporting?
The biggest takeaway from my reporting, after speaking to 2 current and 14 former employees on the record, is that they said that there were what they called good Jimmy days and what they called bad Jimmy days, where his behavior was allegedly erratic and inconsistent.
Also speaking out, Jerry Seinfeld.
Everybody wants to be on this show.
One former staffer tells the mag called out the late night host for scolding a crew member. After the article published, Seinfeld responded to Rolling Stone, saying, quote, "This is so stupid. I remember this moment. I teased Jimmy about a flub and we all had a fun laugh. This is an idiotic twisting of events."
How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I'm really glad that Jerry responded to us. We reached out a few times prior to publishing, and once we published, representatives for him got in touch with us.
There are some critics of your reporting now saying that they feel like you do hit jobs. What do you think about that?
I see it as Hollywood accountability. People could see it as a hit job if that makes sense to them.
I'm Jimmy Fallon, and I'll be your host for now.
That's Jimmy's first Tonight Show broadcast in 2014. Moving on from his late night time slot to replace longtime host Jay Leno.
Hope I do well. The first show was the craziest one for me. I knew a lot of people were watching, and I wanted to make it one of those moments where if you were a kid, if you've never seen a talk show, I wanted to kind of explain to people what a talk show was and what my job is. It's basically to know the news and make fun of it so that everyone's laughing and smiling before you go to bed. You live a longer, healthier, happier life.
Okay. All right. That was the clip from Entertainment Tonight. I remember when he went live, or the first time, where the legendary, one of the best announcers, Steve Higgins, said, "Hey, here he is, Jimmy Fallon." I remember it very, very, very well. And how nervous he was and how excited he was. And there was a thing where he's like, "Whoever say I wouldn't make it to the Tonight Show, you owe me $20, buddy." And, rest her soul, Joan Rivers got to come back, because, Jay Leno had a ban on Joan Rivers because of Johnny Carson. Right. So, at the end of the day, let me type in Tonight Show Jimmy Fallon just to see if anything is on his YouTube channel as of late. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, so there is. So 9 hours ago, Stranger Things cast plays True Confessions. Let me go to videos here. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing anything. So it's a lot of best of clip, most watched sketches, Box of Lies, best of clips. So he has not really said anything from what I am seeing on his Tonight Show YouTube page. There's no, "Hi guys, it's me, Jimmy Fallon, and I just want to come on and say sorry to you, our audience." So no video of that nature. As of yet, I'm assuming that, Jimmy Fallon will be saying something on a YouTube channel, or he may do a special Tonight Show episode. I mean, how do you navigate this, right? I think what I would do if I'm Jimmy Fallon is, first of all, listen, I would go live at 11:35 Eastern, sometime this week, live from Studio 6B, and be like, "Hey guys, this is our conversation between me and you. There is no Roots. There is no Steve Higgins. It's just me and you, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how I screwed up. Because I can imagine that there's a primetime interview coming with this. I think the person that should do it, kind of. I think Brian Williams could do it. I know that he retired from news, but I think this would be a huge story for him because he did do Slow Jam the News. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, very interesting story. Hopefully what end up happening is that at the end of the day that, you know, he will make the necessary decisions to do the right thing, and hopefully things will turn around. The show has been renewed to 2026 now. If Jimmy Fallon leaves the Tonight Show because of all this, which I don't think he is going to. I mean, if it was a black person, they would be gone already. But if he were to leave, then the search to find a new host would be a very open thing. Would be a very open search, right? Honestly, I thought about this. If Braylon Lee were to do late night, you know what? I would either do a social commentary monologue, just like I'm doing now with these 3 topics, and giving y'all my take, or you know what? Just throw that out. By the time, and Tom Snyder said this, he had a show called The Tomorrow Show, and he said by the time you get to 12:35 a.m., people have screamed and hollered and have heard all the noise of the day, and they just want to rest. And I think that is something very important in late night. Late night has always been, you know, for jokes, giggles, and hearty guffaws. And, you know, I think there needs to be one late night show where it is just the place to chill and settle down and just, you know, have some joy. You know what I mean? So I think that's why I think personally, you know, if I came to late night, I probably do like maybe, and this is just a rough draft, y'all. I don't know what I would actually do, but I kind of have an idea. I think I would do probably a 20-minute Q&A segment. You know, probably find some of the funniest questions from the audience and banter with the audience, and then just do what I do with interviews and just, hey, you know what? And Craig Ferguson, he ripped for the Late Late Show. He would rip up the cards and just have a normal conversation, and I love that. So I think that's what I would do if it was the Tonight Show, starring Braylon Lee. First of all, what in the world? I would cry like, oh my God, they actually chose me. What the hell? And you know, for people who will feel like, oh my God, well, you're basically serving, you know, massa. It's like, no, it's not me serving massa. I only say that because, you know, NBC and all the networks are usually ran by white people. But I say that I would be genuinely grateful because if you have ever had a dream before, you've worked so hard to get there. And for somebody to say, you have a shot, I'm going to give you an opportunity, I believe in you, that's huge in any career. So if somehow by the grace of God, or as I like to say, there's a 99.9% chance of something of your career not happening, but that 1% somehow came true for you. And they said, hey, we are announcing the Tonight Show starring Braylon Lee. I would be extremely honored to be chosen. Extremely honored to be chosen. And so, yeah, I truly mean that. Truly. I think I would have a good time with the Tonight Show, right? And honestly, tell you the truth, listen, if I'm doing a Q&A segment with the audience, we ain't got to do no damn monologue. We can shoot that at 2:00 and everybody get out by 4:00 every day. So that we can get home to our families at 5:00 and stuff like that. I don't know. And like I said, this is all spitballing, y'all. It's all spitballing. Because the Tonight Show has been in... The Tonight Show was originally from Studio 6B from Rockefeller Center in New York City. That's where Johnny Carson did the Tonight Show. Then he moved it out to Los Angeles, and then was in LA for a long time. Then it moved back to New York. Would it not be cool if the Tonight Show, was shot in Atlanta at Tyler Perry Studios? It's the Tonight, coming to you from Tyler Perry Studios. This is the Tonight Show starring Braylon Lee, and now here he is, Braylon Lee. Like, that would be huge. That would be huge. And I don't know if NBC will be open to moving the Tonight Show, which is mostly for a middle America audience, down to Black Hollywood. But hey, I think it would be cool. A little change of pace. But anyway, that's just my take, y'all. That is my take. That is my take. Okay. But yes, indeed. So, do y'all have any other questions for me or anything? I'll probably stay on here for just a little bit longer, then I'll probably head out. But like I said, this was a fun live. And by the way, in 1 hour, it will be episode 2 of the Rampage Tendencies podcast. That's right, it is back. I had to find my other videos because I was like, okay, now wait a minute. I know I recorded all my videos for the podcast. So I found out. So I found out. But I found other screen recordings, and I have those. So those will be dropping. I'm gonna try to drop them every Friday at 8 o'clock if I can. But yes, y'all begin another new video at 8 o'clock tonight. So enjoy episode 2 of Letting Go. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And like I said, this podcast is probably the most deep podcast that I've ever been a part of, because I created it, I produced it, I hosted, all that stuff. So the Arsenio Hall show was definitely legendary for sure. It's Arsenio Hall, and the timing of that great announcer was so important. And the dog pound, of course. And, how he, did the, hey, or the, and then Arsenio Hall came back. And you know what? For Arsenio Hall to come back, and it was so sweet what he said about coming back. He said, I want to come back now because I want my son to see that I can work and that I do work. And how comfortable is it that you have done all this great work and you can actually rest and be everything that you want to be, to just have the opportunity to do what you love to do again? Oh my God, what a privilege that is. You know what I mean? So, and honestly, I thought I couldn't do late night, but if you really think about it, Arsenio Hall is the only, shout out to Larry Wilmore, doing the nightly report. Shout out to Robin Thede with the rundown. Shout out to Trevor Noah with the Daily Show. Shout out to TJ Holmes with Don't Sleep on BET. So there have been black late night hosts, but I think the most successful black late night host has been Arsenio Hall, and also Magic Johnson also had a talk show as well on late night TV. So, but yeah, shout out to Arsenio Hall. He's definitely a late night talk show legend. Definitely. For sure. So should I keep it to, should I keep it to like 120 and then cut it off, or since I'm already right here at the mark? Or do y'all have any more questions for me or anything? Oh wow, this is kind of funny. Oh, so yes, cut it off at 120. Okay, I got you. By the way, a little fun story for y'all here. It says, Diplo and Chris Rock escape Burning Man festival after catching a ride in a fan's pickup truck. Okay, how cool is that? I'll read the story for y'all very quickly since we are here. So I'll read this story, then I'll read the daily motivational thought, and then we will be on our way out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Hopefully gave y'all a really good show. I'm trying to give y'all other topics because at the end of the day, life is bigger than just one show. And yeah, and by the way, get ready for Love and Marriage Huntsville. That is coming back September 16th at September 16th at 8/7 Central. And then don't forget Rebuilding Black Wall Street, hosted by the legendary Morris Chestnut. That will be happening September 29th at 9/8 Central, only here on Keeping It Real. So Diplo and Chris Rock escaped Burning Man Festival after catching a ride in fans' pickup truck. So Diplo shared on social media that he and Chris Rock made it out of Burning Man after heavy rainfall turned the festival into a muddy mess, leaving attendees unable to get out. In a video posted to the DJ's Instagram, he can be seen riding off in the back of a pickup truck with the comedian and others. A fan offered Chris Rock and I a ride out of Burning Man in the back of the pickup. He wrote, all good. I appreciate you being here. I so appreciate you being here, Phyllis. It is all good. A fan offered Chris Rock and I a ride out of Burning Man in the back of a pickup, he wrote in the video, after walking 6 miles through the mud. The music producer in the post caption, I legit walked the side of the road for hours with my thumb out because I have a show in DC and I did not want to let y'all down. Also, shout out to this guy for making a smart purchase of a truck, not knowing it was for this exact moment. Oh my Lord Jesus. Let's see. Rock shared a clip on his Instagram stories of the thick mud that formed on the festival's grounds after a heavy rainstorm battled Nevada's Black Rock Desert Friday night to Saturday morning. NBC analyst Neil Katil also hiked out the festival, noting on Twitter it was a incredibly harrowing 6-mile hike at midnight through heavy and slippery mud, but I got safely out of Burning Man. Never been before. Was fantastic with brilliant art and fabulous music, except the ending. So yeah. All right. Several festival goers have been documenting their experiences on social media, showing the difficult reality of trying to trek through mud. Some people can even be seen tying trash bags around their shoes and legs in an attempt to make walking easier. For those of you who don't know what Burning Man is a global ecosystem of artists, makers, and community organizers who co-create art, events, and local initiatives around the world. The festival, which sees an average 70,000 attendees each year, initially started in San Francisco in 1986, before moving to Nevada in 1991. There you go. And for those of you Barbie fans, Nicki Minaj is going out on tour next year. Just wanted to throw that out there in case y'all are. There you go. But anyway, let me get the daily motivational thought up for us here as we get ready to roll on out. This was a fun show. Money, sex, and late night TV. It was a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And y'all watch the replay. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, all that good stuff. Art Linkletter, the legendary Art Linkletter says this: things turn out best for people who make the best of the way things turn out. Say that one more time. Things turn out best for people who make the best out of the way things turn out. Very wise words there. It's time for the Daily Motivator for Friday, September 8th, 2023. Now is the meaningful time. Now's the meaningful time. Don't delay the meaning in your life. Find it, create it, experience it, live it in every encounter, in every situation. You can set ambitious goals, make great plans, and follow through with them. but you don't have to put off life's richness until some later date in order to do so. Meaning arises not just from the results and rewards you seek and obtain. There's so much opportunity to experience meaning in the entire process of living. You're not doing this activity right now, so you can get to the meaningful part of life afterwards. Now is when the meaningful part of life happens. Fill your awareness with gratitude for the chance to live this time with meaning. Seek to make every little detail resonate with positive purpose. The meaningful time is now. Embrace the opportunity to deepen your sense of meaning with everything you do. Ralph Morrison. You know, I really do love these daily motivators because, for one, it puts me in a good mood and y'all in a good mood, all of us in a good mood. Three things I learned. All you have is right now. Whatever happened yesterday happened yesterday. Whatever's going to happen tomorrow hasn't happened yet. But all you have is right now. Focus on your now, because if you don't focus on your now, you won't ever get it back. Number two, meaning arises not just from the results and rewards that you seek and obtain. And there was the reveal of the Disney Treasure cruise ship, and this guy, wanted jewels and all these types of things. And then towards the end of the video, he was like, sometimes the treasure is not what we actually think. And I agree with that. I think sometimes what we go after is what we want, but we want it because we want something bigger and meaningful. And finally, at the end of the day, I think a lot of times we feel like because we're not where we are right now, that our life doesn't have meaning. Your life absolutely has meaning. You're here right now. That has more meaning than you will ever know. So live out that meaning today, because guess what? No one else can do what you do but you. So with that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Phyllis Crawford, thank you for being here. Nikki News, thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. And enjoy the episode of the Rampage Tennessee podcast, episode 2, Letting Go. I hope you guys really do enjoy that. With that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you are always born a blessing. Trust you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why is one thing to call yourself? It's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. Hopefully, by spending time together, rise up to be great together. And always remember, whether you're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or just recognizing that just because you made it in Hollywood, or you're just trying to get through your life, every workplace has a little toxicity. Make sure the replay is not just where you watch it, not just where you listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. You're loved, you're cared for, you matter, and like I've always say, no matter what obstacles you have overcome, whatever successes you've achieved, I am very proud of you. I feel the love, and I send it all right back to you. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.